In the quaint town of Eldridge, nestled between rolling hills and dense woods, stood an old asylum, long abandoned and shrouded in legend. Locals whispered tales of its dark past, experiments gone wrong, tortured souls wandering its crumbling halls, and an overwhelming sense of despair that clung to the air like fog. One fateful autumn evening, a group of 5 friends, Mark, Sarah, Daniel, Lily, and Tom, decided to explore the asylum, fueled by teenage bravado and a thirst for adventure. Armed with flashlights and a handheld camera, they ventured beyond the rusted gates, their laughter echoing against the crumbling walls. As they stepped inside, the air turned cold, sending shivers down their spines. The stench of decay lingered, and the sound of dripping water echoed through the dark corridors. Their excitement quickly faded as they discovered rooms filled with rusted medical equipment and walls smeared with long-dried blood. Ignoring their growing unease, the group pressed on, venturing deeper into the heart of the asylum. In the center of the building lay the old patient ward, where the remnants of faded photographs and tattered beds whispered tales of suffering. It was there they found a dusty journal left behind by a nurse. The entries detailed the torment of the patients, experiments that pushed them beyond the brink of sanity and the chilling whispers of those who claimed to hear voices calling to them. That night, as the sun dipped below the horizon, a heavy silence fell over the asylum. The friends set up a makeshift camp in the ward, sharing ghost stories and daring each other to venture into the darkest corners of the building. But as the clock struck midnight, the atmosphere shifted. A low whisper echoed through the halls, barely audible at first, but growing louder. "Get out, get out." The friends exchanged nervous glances, unsure if it was their imaginations running wild or something more sinister. Mark, eager to prove his bravery, suggested they split up and explore different sections of the asylum. Reluctantly, they agreed. As they moved through the darkened halls, Sarah and Lily found themselves in the basement, where the air was thick with an oppressive weight. They stumbled upon a small room filled with shattered mirrors and remnants of old clothes. The whispers intensified, now a cacophony of voices, pleading for release. Meanwhile, Daniel and Tom discovered the old operating theater, the site of rusty tools laid out like macabre instruments of torture. As they examined the remnants, a sudden chill filled the room, and the lights flickered ominously. They turned to leave, but the door slammed shut, trapping them inside. Panic set in as they realized they were not alone. In the ward, Mark searched frantically for his friends, calling their names into the silence. The whispers grew louder, now a mix of laughter and cries, echoing off the walls, growing more frantic as the shadows around him deepened. He felt an icy breath on his neck, and when he turned, he saw a figure, a pale, gaunt woman with hollow eyes staring at him. In a blind panic, Mark stumbled back, running through the corridors, desperate to escape the haunted whispers that taunted him. He finally found Sarah and Lily in the basement, their faces pale with terror. They explained the voices they had heard, the feeling of being watched, and the realization that the asylum was alive with the spirits of those who had suffered there. Determined to find Daniel and Tom, they raced back to the operating theater, but found only darkness and an empty room. The whispers morphed into laughter, echoing through the hallways, as if the asylum itself was mocking their fear. As they retraced their steps, the whispers grew frantic, urging them to leave. Join us," they pleaded. With no sign of their friends, they fled toward the entrance, but the asylum had other plans. The walls shifted, hallways seemed to stretch endlessly, and doors slammed shut, trapping them in a nightmarish labyrinth. Finally, they stumbled upon a large mirror in the foyer, its surface shimmering unnaturally. In it, they saw reflections of Daniel and Tom, but their eyes were vacant, filled with a haunting despair. The mirror spoke, its voice echoing the whispers of the asylum, "Join them, become one of us." Realizing the truth, Sarah screamed, urging Mark and Lily to escape. They raced toward the exit, the whispers now a cacophony of desperate cries and malevolent laughter. Just as they reached the threshold, Mark glanced back one last time. The reflections in the mirror had transformed into twisted versions of their friends, their mouths moving in silent screams. Bursting through the doors, they stumbled into the night, gasping for breath. Behind them, the asylum stood silent once more, the whispers fading into the darkness. They had escaped, but as they looked back, they could still hear the echoes of the voices, a chilling reminder that some places hold on to their secrets, and some spirits are never at peace. From that day on, the friends never spoke of that night again, but they could never forget the terror of the whispering asylum. And sometimes, in the dead of night, they still heard the faint whispers calling to them, a haunting reminder that some doors should never be opened.